Mr. Speaker, I've spoken here before about the surge in demand for citizenship we're seeing in the 4th Congressional District of Illinois. Thousands who are eligible are taking the step to become citizens because they feel threatened by a president and an administration that does not seem to think that immigrants, refugees, Muslims, or Latinos are human beings. So the one way to protect oneself and to protect one's family is to apply for citizenship if you're eligible. Some days they're lined up out the door of my office. So full are our daily appointments, we had to add a Saturday citizenship workshop to accommodate all of the people who wanted to apply, and we will be adding additional workshops. At one workshop a couple of weeks ago, staff and volunteers worked with families to fill out the paperwork, assemble all of the evidence and fees for the application, and one day we helped 260 people fill out their citizenship application. And I discovered something very important. People keep coming back to me and asking, what can I do to fight back? What can I do to help immigrant communities who are under siege by President Trump and President Bannon and all the rest of the people who want to drive immigrants out of the country, they ask. So I told them they could help others apply for citizenship. And they came in droves, hipsters with funky facial hair, women with pink knit hats they made for the Women's March, environmental and LGBTQ activists, union members, and just plain old folks from my district who are not themselves immigrants, but who feel a solidarity with immigrants in their community. And you know what? This new group, after getting a little training, sat for a few hours with immigrant families going over their histories, their stories, their reasons for being here, and their reasons for applying for U.S. citizenship. And they were pretty good at filling out government forms. They formed a bond. They got to know each other. They were helping each other accomplish a mutual goal, which is standing up to xenophobia and the Trump-Bannon era. The citizens and the applicants to become citizens are both worried about Republicans taking away their health care and eliminating the environmental laws that have made the water we drink and the air we breathe so much safer. They worry about where women and girls will get health care services in cities like Chicago if Trump and his buddies defund Planned Parenthood. Or what happens after the courts are stacked with judges who are so out of step with the modern era on gender and civil rights, consumer protection, women's health, and any of the other issues people care about. Anyone who walked out of that citizenship workshop where 260 new citizenship applications were completed felt a sense of community and interconnectedness with one another. Now, it is sad to report that thousands of my constituents can't spend a Saturday morning applying for citizenship. Many of them are at legal clinics or law offices filling out papers to address the very fear that they will lose their homes, their savings, their family, if Trump's deportation force knocks on their door. They are filling out by the thousands power of attorney documents and child custody papers in case they are grabbed off the street, in their homes, or worse yet, in their places of worship. It is heartbreaking. Moms and dads are making decisions about who their kids will go to live with if they get picked up and deported. Which relative, neighbor, or older sibling will be in charge if mom and dad are taken away? And believe me, these kids know what's going on. The 5 million U.S. citizens who have parents at risk of deportation know that their government is a threat to their safety and their security. Their own government could come to the door and upend their lives at any moment, and their parents are preparing for the worst. It is the humanity, the love, they're striving for a better life that comes through in these parents who want what is best for their children and what was unavailable to them in some far-off country. These are very real people who have no legal avenues that allow them to live and work here legally, who have no options other than to hide or leave, who have been cut off from fully integrating into our society as citizens because Congress has been fighting over immigration reform. These are the people that Bannon and Sessions and King have been working together for years to get out of what they call their country, so that our erratic new president can point to deportations and say that he's making America great again. What is clear from the citizenship surge is that all those who want to help is that America is not only great, not only kind, is not only dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal, but that there are Americans, and those who want to be Americans willing to stand up and resist when leaders take us in the wrong direction. Mr. Speaker, you will see millions of Americans and aspiring Americans marching together in American cities across our great nation on May 1st. And when you do, you will see this bond and this shared humanity this coming May 1st.